No one comes into our life by accident. Every person who appears is like a missing piece, and their presence makes the picture of our life more complete and profound. Some come to give us happiness, to awaken our trust and innate love. Some arrive like storms, shattering what we thought was permanent, forcing us to face weaknesses and wounds we once avoided. And some pass by briefly, like a cloud in the afternoon, yet plant a question or an inspiration that changes the direction of our life. Every encounter, whether long or short, is a deep karmic connection. In the Buddha's teaching, everything follows the law of cause and effect. The people who come today are not mere chance. They are the result of countless conditions sown in the past. Perhaps it is an unfinished promise, a debt to repay, or simply a seed of goodness now ready to sprout. With this insight, we no longer curse fate or resent others, but instead cultivate gratitude for every encounter. The one who causes us suffering may be a great teacher, forcing us to learn patience and letting go. The one who gives us joy is a mirror reminding us that our heart still longs for love and compassion. Each person brings a unique lesson that helps us grow on the spiritual path. When we live with awareness, we see the presence of others as signs along our journey. Some arrive to point the way, some to halt our steps, some to walk with us for a short or long while. But all have meaning, for through them we see ourselves reflected. What we admire in others reflects our own light, while what we dislike reveals the shadow yet to be healed. Through this reflection, we recognize which qualities to cultivate and which habits to release.
Looking deeper, we realize that every encounter gives us two choices: to react in ignorance and repeat suffering, or to respond with mindfulness and turn it into transformation. The one who insults us can ignite anger, but if we pause and breathe, we learn equanimity. The one who abandons us can bring despair, but seen through impermanence, we understand that everything comes and goes, and nothing can be held forever. With this view, we no longer cling to anyone's presence, but instead cherish it while it lasts and smile when it ends. Life, seen through interdependence, is not a series of random events, but a continuous stream where each person who comes and goes is like a tributary feeding the main river. No one is meaningless, no one is redundant. Even those who leave wounds help us see our limits and awaken inner strength. Like raindrops falling to earth, each sustains life, and each person sustains our soul's growth. With this awareness, we no longer feel lonely or lost. For whoever comes or goes, we know they are teaching us something, and we can be grateful rather than resentful. Gratitude expands the heart, melts anger, deepens love. We realize that others are not just others, but mirrors reflecting hidden aspects within us. Through them, we come to know ourselves better and walk step by step toward liberation. And when we give thanks for every encounter, life becomes full and complete. It is no longer a random game of fate, but a meaningful journey where each person, each moment, each smile, each tear is part of a great lesson in love and wisdom. Every encounter, whether short or long, is a step that carries us closer to awakening.
Encounters in life are never meaningless, for they are mirrors reflecting the truth of our inner world. Those who love us bring warmth and care, stirring our hearts, not only offering momentary happiness, but also reflecting our inherent capacity to love. When we feel joy in their presence, it proves that love within us has never been lost. It simply waits to be awakened and nourished. Through them, we learn that we can love, open our hearts, and live with the gentleness of compassion. Yet not every mirror is comfortable. Some people arrive with pain, stirring anger, insecurity, or fear hidden deep inside. They are like cracked mirrors reflecting the darker parts of us, exposing wounds we wished to hide. In those moments, rather than blaming, we can see it as an opportunity to face and heal what has long remained unhealed. Without such encounters, we might never know the storms still brewing within. Those who hurt us on a deeper level are teachers guiding us toward forgiveness and patience. Every encounter, sweet or bitter, is an honest mirror. It never lies, never distorts. It simply reflects what already lives in our mind. The beauty we see in others is a call from the beauty within ourselves. The pain we attribute to others is the pain within us, awakened by contact. Others are but mirrors. The face reflected is always ours. With this awareness, we become less attached to praise and less troubled by criticism. We no longer need to run away from those who disturb us, nor cling to those who bring joy. Instead, we learn to look deeply into each reflection, gaining greater self-understanding. This is the path of liberation from the cycle of attachment and aversion.
Like a blacksmith tempering iron with fire, the flames of our encounters forge the soul. Challenges from others refine patience. Moments of joy expand compassion. Wounds teach forgiveness and letting go. Thus the heart grows steady and free. Life, seen in this light, is not a chain of random events. It becomes a journey of growth, where every face we meet and every word we hear is a profound lesson. Those who love us mirror our ability to connect. Those who hurt us mirror the shadows needing transformation. Those who ignore us mirror our longing for recognition. Together, these mirrors form the complete picture of who we are. When we welcome every encounter as an opportunity for reflection, life no longer appears chaotic. We see clearly that each person and each situation arrives to teach us something essential. Thus, we no longer feel lonely or lost, for the universe itself is a vast classroom where every connection is a teacher. By being grateful for each mirror, we walk with a wider heart, a clearer mind, and a lighter spirit. And in the end, we realize that through the reflections of others, we step closer, moment by moment, to awakening and inner freedom.
The three kinds of encounters in life
are like three doors opening into the depth of interdependence and three mirrors reflecting our inner growth. Some people come to support us, like a bridge carrying us across a raging river, like a hand reaching out just in time to lift us when we fall. They give us faith, encouragement, and the assurance that we are not alone in our struggles. Their presence is like a warm flame in a cold night, not only comforting our hearts, but also reminding us that kindness still exists in this world. Those who come to support us are not only givers of comfort, they also offer us the chance to learn gratitude and to continue the flow of compassion. When we are supported, we learn to be thankful, and when our time comes, we too can become a source of strength for others, letting love ripple outward. Yet not everyone comes with gentleness. Some arrive to test us. They are like mountains we must climb, or fierce storms forcing us to learn how to stand firm in the wind. At first, their presence feels uncomfortable, even painful, as they stir our weaknesses and hidden limits. But with awareness, we realize they are opportunities to cultivate patience, resilience, and equanimity. Without challenges, we would remain confined to our comfort zones, never discovering the power within. Thanks to them, we learn we can rise higher, stand stronger, and grow wiser. And then there are those who come to teach us a lesson. They may stay only for a short time, yet leave a lasting mark, like a stone cast into a pond whose ripples extend long after. That lesson may be gentle, like a reminder of gratitude, or bitter, like a loss teaching us to let go. But whatever its form, it carries the seed of wisdom, opening a new door to see deeper into impermanence and interdependence. A stranger shares a story that shifts our perspective. A brief friendship teaches us to cherish the present. An incomplete love shows us that true love must come with freedom. These three types of encounters, though different, are essential parts of life's tapestry. They do not appear randomly, nor exist to color our journey for a moment. They come to reveal what already lies within us: gratitude, inner strength, the ability to love, and the wisdom of letting go. With this understanding, no relationship is meaningless. Those who support us teach us to appreciate and give back. Those who test us push us to grow in courage. Those who teach lessons brighten our mind. Together, they form the pieces that complete our soul. Life in the light of karma and interdependence is no longer a random play of fate, but a meaningful journey. Everyone we meet, in whatever role, is a teacher, a companion, or a guide helping us walk more steadily. When we learn to welcome every encounter as an opportunity to grow, life becomes not only lighter, but also filled with meaning. In such awareness, gratitude arises naturally. The mind awakens, and we learn to remain at peace in the midst of all the ups and downs of human existence.
Compassion must walk together with wisdom, and this is the very path the Buddha emphasized throughout his teachings. If we have only love without wisdom, that love can turn into weakness, even pity, which unintentionally adds burdens to both ourselves and others. On the other hand, if we have only wisdom without compassion, we risk becoming cold and rigid, seeing life only through sharp logic, but missing the warmth of the heart. Thus, compassion and wisdom must go hand in hand, like the two wings of a bird, lifting it high and steady in flight. In daily life, we may think that helping someone immediately is an act of kindness, yet in truth, it is not always so. Sometimes, if we intervene too quickly, we take away their chance to grow through their own struggles. A person who stumbles may need us to extend a hand, but at other times, they need to rise by themselves to realize their inner strength. Compassion is not always action. At times, quiet observation and patient waiting for the right moment is the most profound expression of compassion. In the scriptures, the Buddha often taught that true kindness is to help at the right time and in the right way. Imagine someone falling into a deep pit. If we impulsively jump in to save them, we both become trapped. But if we pause, find a rope, study the situation, and then lower it so they can grasp it and climb out, that help becomes truly valuable and lasting. Wisdom within compassion helps us know when to act and when to step back, when to speak comfort and when to remain silent. Silence is not always indifference, and action is not always love. Only when combined do they touch the essence of true helping. Think of teaching a child to walk. If the parents carry the child forever, the child will never learn to walk on their own. But if they let go too early, the child may fall hard. Balance is needed, supporting when necessary, and letting go at the right time. This is the lesson of compassion joined with wisdom, protecting yet allowing growth. Practicing in this way, we discover that letting go can be a profound act of love, for it shows trust in the other's ability, giving them the chance to uncover their hidden strength. If we keep them forever in our protective embrace, we unknowingly take away their chance to grow. Looking deeper, we see that this balance also shapes our own growth. By observing and waiting for the right moment, we cultivate patience and equanimity. By intervening just enough, we learn to temper love so it does not become attachment. And by letting go, we learn to trust in karma and the natural unfolding of life. Compassion with wisdom is not only a reminder from the scriptures, but a compass for every relationship we have. In family, at work, or among friends, knowing when to help and when to release is the art of a vast yet discerning heart. When we embody this, our love is no longer impulsive emotion, but a flowing stream, both gentle and strong, nourishing both ourselves and those we love. And with this, we walk the path of awakening with the balanced wings of compassion and wisdom.
Compassion and wisdom in action are an essential practice on the path of awakening. Helping too soon is not always helping,
For premature intervention can strip away the opportunity for someone to discover their own inner strength. When one is constantly lifted before they can walk, their legs remain weak, never learning to stand firm. On the other hand, abandoning too soon, before they are ready, may leave them lost and hopeless. Thus, compassionate action must always be guided by wisdom, so that love does not turn into dependency and wisdom does not become cold indifference. Imagine a child learning to walk. A parent cannot carry the child forever, but neither can they abandon them too early. They must observe, guide, and support at the right time, and then know when to let go. This is the balance between love and clarity, allowing the child to feel safe yet also grow through their own steps. The Buddha taught that a true teacher is not one who walks the path for the student, but one who gives them the tools and confidence to walk on their own. The teacher can point the way and encourage, but cannot take the steps, for the journey of awakening is a personal experience each must undertake. Compassion without wisdom can become pity. It may make the other feel weaker while we fall into the illusion of superiority. Wisdom without compassion may become rigid, seeing life only through intellect and forgetting human pain and joy. Only when both qualities merge does every action become genuine support, easing another's suffering while giving them the chance to grow. In daily life, we must often ask ourselves, does this help truly nourish, or does it create more dependence? Does this letting go truly come from love, or is it avoidance? Such questioning keeps our actions clear and free from impulsive emotions. Compassion in action is not always about extending a hand. Sometimes it is the patient silence that gives space for others to learn their lesson. Wisdom in action is not always about analysis. Sometimes it is the understanding glance that steps back, allowing love to unfold. With mindful awareness, we learn to recognize the right moment, when to support, when to release, when to speak, and when to simply listen. Like bamboo bending gracefully before the wind, yet never breaking, compassion and wisdom in action are both gentle and steadfast, both tender and firm. Living this way, we no longer see helping as a burden, nor letting go as indifference. Our actions flow naturally as streams of love and clarity, and within this flow, both we and others are nurtured and allowed to grow. When compassion and wisdom walk in hand, life is no longer a struggle of saving or despairing over what we cannot do, but a journey of harmony where every act bears the mark of love and awakening.
To preserve dignity while helping is one of the deepest expressions of compassion joined with wisdom. Often in life, out of love, we rush to do everything for others, thinking that this is true kindness. Yet such help can unintentionally take away their chance to prove their ability, leaving them feeling weak or incapable. Helping is not about doing everything for someone. It is about giving them trust, opportunity, and tools so they can stand on their own. This is true compassion, always accompanied by respect. When we help while preserving another's dignity, we affirm that they too have value, ability, and the right to independence.
Imagine someone learning to swim. If we hold them tightly all the time, they will never learn to float. But if we stay close, ready to support when they struggle, while encouraging them to try, then our help protects them while allowing them to discover their own strength. In the Buddha's teaching, compassion is not just about soothing immediate pain, but about giving others the chance for long-term growth and liberation. Helping by doing everything may ease suffering for a moment, but it can create dependency. Helping by giving opportunity both supports and respects dignity, allowing others to find their inner strength and wisdom. To help with respect also means we do not look at others with pity. Pity makes the one helped feel inferior, while compassionate wisdom makes them feel trusted and encouraged. By offering trust, we shine a light on their potential, enabling them to grow. This form of helping nourishes both sides. The giver feels joy for offering in the right way, and the receiver feels joy for keeping self-respect and dignity intact. Preserving the dignity of others when helping is also preserving our own dignity. If we help to prove ourselves superior, our help is tainted with pride. But if we help quietly and respectfully, our action becomes pure compassion. The other person may not remember us forever, but they will remember the confidence we planted within them, and that confidence will continue to guide them on their journey. Practicing this balance is not always easy. At times, we feel impatient, wanting to step in and fix everything quickly. But by pausing and observing, we see that true helping requires patience and sensitivity. Helping too much can make someone feel useless. Abandoning them completely can leave them in despair. The art lies in balance, supporting while respecting. We must remember that within every person lies the seed of strength and wisdom. Our role is not to live their life for them, but to light the lamp within them so they may walk their own path. In this way, helping is no longer one-sided, but becomes mutual growth. The one helped grows stronger, and we grow wiser in understanding true love. Preserving dignity in helping is, in the end, planting freedom. True love does not bind, does not make others feel dependent or controlled. It is like a fresh stream, quenching thirst while guiding the other to find their own source of water. When we help with respect, the world becomes lighter, for every act then carries harmony between compassion and wisdom. And it is this harmony that makes love a guiding light, nourishing both ourselves and others on the path of awakening.
Boundaries and self-care are essential for keeping compassion from becoming a burden. Many people mistake compassion as giving without limit, sacrificing everything for others while neglecting themselves. But if we give endlessly without nourishing our own hearts, sooner or later our giving dries up, and kindness risks turning into exhaustion, resentment, or even suffering. True compassion is not blind sacrifice, but love guided by wisdom, knowing when to set limits, when to protect our energy so it can keep flowing. Without boundaries, we are easily drawn into doing everything for others, even carrying their burdens for them. This unintentionally robs them of the chance to discover their own strength. Overgiving makes them dependent, while leaving us depleted. Yet abandoning too soon can leave them lost,
unsure of how to continue. Thus, compassion must be paired with wisdom in action, observing carefully like a mindful teacher, ready to guide, yet patient enough to let the student walk on their own, not doing everything for them, but not neglecting them either. Setting boundaries is itself an act of compassion toward ourselves. We too are human, in need of love, rest, and nourishment. If we do not care for our own body and mind, how can we truly give pure love? Just as a lamp must have oil to shine, compassion must be sustained by inner well-being. Those who neglect self-care will eventually burn out, and their love may become mixed with bitterness or a sense of sacrifice. On the other hand, when we nourish ourselves with mindfulness, meditation, rest, and wholesome joy, we refill our vessel. When full, love flows naturally, without force, without depletion. Boundaries also remind us that each person is responsible for their own happiness. We can support, but we cannot carry another's karma or make their choices for them. Wisdom shows us where to stop, where to draw the line, so compassion is not misused. Setting boundaries is also a form of respect, allowing others the chance to grow instead of being overprotected. Imagine a swimmer rescuing someone drowning. If they rush in recklessly, both may sink. But if they keep themselves afloat while offering something for the other to hold on to and rise, then both are saved. This is compassion with wisdom, loving without forgetting self-care. Caring for ourselves is never selfish. It is our responsibility so that we can continue to love and give. When we rest, listen within, and heal our own wounds, we plant seeds of peace for ourselves and those around us. A peaceful person brings peace. A full heart naturally shares love. A depleted heart can only spread weariness. Thus, boundaries and self-care do not diminish love. They deepen it, strengthen it, and make it pure. When we know how to set limits and care for ourselves, compassion becomes a clear spring, soothing the thirst of others while ensuring the source never dries dry. And then, love is no longer a burden, but a guiding light, nourishing both ourselves and those who walk beside us.
Rare friendship is a precious jewel that not everyone is fortunate enough to find. In a world full of noise and connections, we may have hundreds of acquaintances and thousands of contacts online, but very few of them truly become friends. A sincere friendship is worth more than 100 superficial ties, for it is not built on convenience or temporary gain, but on authenticity, trust, and mutual support through the ups and downs of life. A true friend dares to hold a mirror to our weaknesses and still remains by our side, walking with us not only in moments of joy, but also lifting us when we stumble. In the light of the Dharma, true friendship carries an even deeper meaning. It is a wholesome condition, a supportive force that helps us grow on the spiritual path. A rare friend does not simply share daily joys and sorrows, but encourages us to live virtuously, to cultivate mindfulness and compassion. They remind us to return to ourselves when we are lost in ignorance. They encourage us to rise when our heart falls into darkness. And they gently remind us to let go when we are caught in craving and anger. Such a friendship is like encountering a spiritual companion, a noble friend who supports us on the path of awakening. To find rare friendship, we do not need many relationships, but sincerity and patience in cultivation. A seed of friendship needs to be watered with trust, listening, and respect.
When we listen with an open heart, when we share without judgment, the relationship gradually becomes a spiritual refuge for both. Unlike shallow ties that fade when difficulties arise, true friendship grows stronger in adversity. It is in hardship that we discover who is truly a friend and who is just a passerby. A true friend is not only present when we succeed, but also quietly offers a shoulder when we are in need. Rare friendship is also a mirror that helps us see ourselves more clearly. A good friend points out our limits, sometimes with honesty sharp enough to make us uncomfortable. Yet this honesty is a precious gift that helps us mature. They do not indulge our mistakes, but help us face and transform them. Through them, we learn that love is not always sweet words, but sometimes firm guidance wrapped in care. On the spiritual path, rare friendship becomes even more vital. The Buddha taught that having noble friends is the whole of the spiritual life, because such companions not only remind us of the goal of awakening, but also keep us from being swept away by the world. They are like a lamp lit when we are lost in the dark, like a bridge that carries us across the river, like a fresh spring that quenches the thirst of our soul. We do not need many, just one such friend can make life abundant. Therefore, instead of seeking countless connections, we should learn to nurture deeply. Instead of letting time pass in shallow words, we should listen, understand, and support one another. Instead of chasing fleeting pleasures, we should encourage each other towards lasting values, walking side by side on the path of awareness. A rare friendship is fertile ground where our heart can blossom with compassion and wisdom. And when we learn to cherish and cultivate it, we not only find a true friend, but also discover within ourselves the ability to become a rare friend to others.
The power of forgiveness is a great doorway that opens into inner freedom, unmatched by anything else. In life, none of us escape being hurt. Some wound us with words, others with actions. Normally, when insulted or betrayed, we cling to resentment as if anger could shield our fragile heart. Yet, in truth, in that very moment, we imprison ourselves within emotion, turning memory into chains, binding the soul in the darkness of the past. Forgiveness is not forgetting or denying what happened, nor is it justifying another's wrong. Forgiveness is laying down the burden we have carried too long. Each time we recall the wound, we salt it anew, prolonging the pain. When we choose to forgive, it is not because the other deserves it, but because we are weary of carrying resentment. Letting go of the heavy stone in our hand, we immediately feel lighter. That is forgiveness, returning lightness to the heart, returning freedom to ourselves. In the Buddha's teaching, forgiveness walks with wisdom. Looking deeply, we see that those who cause harm are themselves driven by ignorance, craving, and anger. They hurt us, but in truth, they too are victims of their own unwholesome mind. Seeing this, we no longer see them as enemies, but as beings as worthy of compassion as ourselves. From such vision, compassion arises, and forgiveness becomes natural, no longer forced. Forgiveness is freedom for both sides, but first and foremost for ourselves. The other may never repent or apologize, yet nothing can stop us from choosing to let go, for forgiveness
is not validating what is wrong, but choosing not to let resentment govern our heart. We refuse to let the past imprison the present and the future. We may still remember, but the memory no longer cuts like a blade. It becomes a lesson, a reminder of growth. Forgiveness also does not mean allowing injustice to continue. We can forgive while still setting boundaries, maintaining mindfulness to protect ourselves. Forgiveness is not weakness, but strength. The strength to keep our heart pure while not condoning wrongdoing. This is balance between compassion and wisdom. Compassion that releases resentment, wisdom that preserves safety and fairness. Forgiving is seldom easy. When the wound is fresh, the call to forgive may feel impossible. But with time and mindfulness practice, we learn to see more fully. We realize that holding hatred is like shooting ourselves with a second arrow, the arrow of suffering born from our own resentment. The first pain may come from others, but the prolonged pain comes from our refusal to let go. Releasing the second arrow is the true act of healing. Forgiveness opens a wider path than we expect. It softens the heart, reveals the truth of impermanence. All things change, even wounds and sorrow. Forgiveness is like a fresh stream washing away dust, returning the heart to its innate clarity. One who forgives lives lighter, freer, able to radiate peace to those around. Thus, forgiveness is not only a gift to others, it is above all a gift to ourselves. It is release from the prison of the past, the opening of a new path where each step, each breath carries the taste of freedom. Forgiveness, in the end, is not weakness, but great strength, the strength that allows us to find peace in our very own heart.
The danger of excessive kindness is a lesson we all need to reflect on, for there are times when we believe that the more we give, the greater our love becomes. Yet in reality, if we give without wisdom, kindness itself can become a source of suffering. Excessive kindness easily turns into blind sacrifice, where we no longer see the line between loving others and losing ourselves. We may carry too much for others, do everything for them, endure endlessly, hoping to keep harmony or prove our love. But when exhaustion comes, when gratitude is absent, resentment begins to grow. This resentment not only harms us, but also stains the love we once gave with bitterness. In the light of the Dharma, compassion must walk hand in hand with wisdom. With love alone, giving can become extreme, fostering dependence in others and robbing us of peace. With wisdom alone, we risk becoming cold and detached. Only when the two unite does kindness become a nourishing flow for both sides without creating further suffering. Excessive kindness also blinds us to the truth that each person is responsible for their own life. When we take on everything for others, we unknowingly rob them of the chance to stand on their own. A child who is overprotected by parents will struggle to mature, unable to be independent, more prone to stumble when facing the world. Likewise, when we give too much without letting others take responsibility, we nurture their weakness instead of their strength. Often, excessive kindness arises from a hidden desire for recognition.
We want to feel important, to be appreciated. But when such expectations are unmet, disappointment and bitterness quickly follow. This is when kindness backfires, becoming a cause of suffering instead of peace. Practicing true kindness means balance, setting boundaries and caring for ourselves before caring for others. A lamp cannot shine long without oil. A heart cannot sustain love without inner nourishment. When we give from a place of inner peace, giving is effortless and joyful, not draining. But when we give beyond our means, we only sow exhaustion. Kindness, guided by wisdom, knows when to help, when to step back, when to say no, and when to let go. This is not selfishness, but clarity that protects both ourselves and others. Others learn to stand on their own, while we preserve our inner peace, ensuring that love does not turn into a burden. Kindness without wisdom is like water overflowing its banks, seeming to nourish, yet capable of sweeping everything away, including ourselves. But when love is held within the boundaries of wisdom, we can give with compassion while keeping our soul pure. That is how kindness truly becomes a light that guides, instead of a fire that burns us. Therefore, let us learn to love with both heart and mind, so that every act of giving is joy and nourishment, not a burden or blind sacrifice. Only then will kindness truly bring freedom, peace, and happiness for both ourselves and others.
The final message we can carry on this journey is that peace does not come from holding tightly, nor from building walls to resist change, but from learning to accept impermanence as the natural law of life. Everything, from joy to sorrow, from success to failure, from meetings to partings, moves within the endless cycle of arising and passing away. When we stop resisting change, our heart becomes lighter, and within that acceptance, peace blossoms. Impermanence is not an enemy, but a reminder to cherish every moment, every connection, every person who walks through our life. The rare friend, the one who supported us, even the one who caused us pain, all are part of the vast tapestry of interdependence. Each encounter holds meaning, and when we know how to cherish, we no longer rush through life, letting time slip away in indifference. We pause to listen more deeply, to see more clearly, to recognize the beauty in the small things that are so often overlooked. Peace also arises from the ability to give with wisdom. Giving is not for recognition or to make others dependent, but to nurture compassion and clarity within ourselves. A timely act of help, a sincere word of encouragement, a small gesture filled with love can become a great source of strength for another. Yet we also learn that giving must have boundaries, so love does not turn into burden. Wisdom teaches us when to extend a hand and when to release, so the other may walk on their own. In this balance, compassion becomes a fresh stream, nourishing both others and ourselves. Ultimately, peace becomes complete when we maintain freedom within the heart. Whatever the circumstance, we still have the choice of how to respond. Someone may insult us, but we can choose not to be consumed by anger. Life may bring loss, but we can choose to learn the lesson of letting go. When we see that happiness is not in controlling the outer world, but in the freedom of our own mind, we stop chasing peace in fleeting things
and instead cultivate inner strength. Freedom in the heart is freedom from craving, from hatred, from fear. It is the solid foundation of a peaceful life. This final message is not something distant, but a return to the present, living fully in each breath, each step, each connection. Remember that peace does not come from what we hold on to, but from what we let go. Not from the number of relationships, but from the quality of sincerity. Not from giving too much, but from giving with wisdom. Not from controlling the outside world, but from freedom within. When we understand this, we see that every encounter, every experience, every rise and fall becomes material for our growth. We live lighter, freer, and peace becomes the constant companion walking with us on the path of awakening.
In the end, we may look back and realize that every connection, whether brief or lasting, gentle or turbulent, is a thread woven into the radiant tapestry of our life. Viewed alone, each thread may seem random, some pale, some dark, some uneven. But when seen as a whole, they reveal a complete and beautiful design. It is precisely the different, even contrasting threads that bring harmony and richness to the larger picture. Every person who enters and leaves our life carries meaning, a lesson, an irreplaceable mark. The ones who love us give warmth and authenticity, showing us that our heart still knows how to open. Those who hurt us teach patience, letting go, and forgiveness. Even those who pass by briefly, like a breeze, may leave behind a profound reminder that shifts our perspective. All are essential, for without any of these threads, the tapestry of our life would be incomplete. In the light of dependent origination, nothing arises independently. Everything exists in delicate interconnection. Every meeting, every relationship, every experience is part of a vast web of causes and conditions. Seeing this, we stop blaming, stop asking why, stop insisting that everything must follow our will. Instead, we cherish whatever comes, whether joyful or painful, for each is a vital thread in the tapestry we are living. Peace, then, is not distant, but present in the acceptance and gratitude for each condition. Every connection also reminds us of impermanence. Each thread appears and fades. Those beside us today may leave tomorrow. Joy today may become memory tomorrow. When we accept this, we learn to live more fully in the moment, to cherish those who are here now, and to release gracefully when the time of parting comes. Impermanence does not diminish the beauty of the tapestry. It makes each thread more precious. We learn to love more deeply, live more mindfully, and let go more freely. The tapestry of life, with its countless colors, is not always orderly, nor always harmonious by our standards. There are knots, tangles, dark patches alongside light.
Yet it is this very mixture that makes it real and alive. If it were only bright colors, it would lack depth. If it were only straight lines, it would lack naturalness. Likewise, life needs both joy and sorrow, blessings and challenges for the soul to mature. When we see life as a great tapestry, we no longer cling to each single thread. We are not overly distressed by the dark ones, nor overly attached to the bright ones. We simply smile, receive them, and walk on, knowing all contribute to the perfection of the whole. This perspective brings a profound serenity, helping us live lightly and gratefully. And so, when our journey closes, we may look back at the tapestry of our life with reverence. We will not regret the darker threads, nor cling too tightly to the radiant ones, but recognize that all were needed to shape who we have become. The end is not loss, but completion of the picture. Every connection, sweet or bitter, was a gift that helped us grow, taught us love, forgiveness, and letting go. And in that vision, we see that life has always been whole and beautiful, waiting only for us to recognize it.